Sid Haig. This is Girls and Corpses magazine. Read this. It will fuck you up. Sniffing around, we got to be ready to move. Girls, you put everything you need in one bag. If you can't put it in one bag, you don't need it. Jimmy, you get the van in the barn, start loading up with everything that's ready or almost ready. You pack the best seeds, okay? It's harvest time.
What about the roast?
We'll just keep planning just like it's going to happen. We run, we run.
Where?
Well, a couple of years ago, I bought some property just in case down in Indiana. We'll replant, start over.
You think of everything, Big Daddy.
Simplify, motherfucker.
I have someone coming in next to the studio, and I think you know this person. It's my very good friend, Sid Haig.
Yay!
And Sid Haig, who is an iconic horror actor from lots of terrific films like The Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses. We're going to bring him out. Now, we've also signed together at events.
Yes.
So for some reason, you know, we are a weird team, but I always have fun with you guys. And that's why I wanted you to be on my first show and I wanted Sid to be on. And we'll talk about when you were doing porn movies with Sid. Ooh. We have to bring that up. But anyhow, I want to welcome now my next guest, the one, the only, and very clown-like, Sid Haig. Come around this way. I'm Sid. Sid Haig, that song is rather iconic. As iconic as the person that's sitting here with us right now, Mr. Sid Haig. Tell us about that brilliant piece of music which we unearthed. When was the last time you heard that?
Too many years ago. I mean, I have heard it in several different places.
Yeah.
You know, little pieces here and there. But
what is your association with it? Why
well, that's my band. Okay.
That's your band.
The T-Birds.
Okay. You created the T-Birds?
Yes.
And you were the drummer.
Yes.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because isn't it usually the singer that does that or no?
I just beat everybody up and said I'm the leader.
I like this strategy.
Yeah,
that works for me.
You have to take over. The thing is, a little music history, rock and roll history 101, okay? I was sitting in the audience in a theater in 1954 when rock and roll was introduced to the world. And it was in a film called Blackboard Jungle.
Yeah.
And the group was Bill Haley and the Comets doing Rock Around the Clock. That was like the first introduction of rock and roll.
And you were in that audience?
I was in that audience. And 4 years later, we were in a studio recording Full House. As a matter of fact, we did 6 singles for Keen. And I don't know if anybody's ever seen a film called American Hot Wax.
Yeah.
But that is the history of rock and roll. we got there first thing in the morning, sleepers in the eyes and everything. So we record, 6 songs, blah, blah, blah. Walk out, and everything was done in radio stations because there were no sound stages.
Right.
Okay. We walk out, and down the hall is a line of musicians all the way down the street, because one after the next would come in and do theirs, and then come in and do theirs, and they would just sort stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that whole thing happened. I somehow lost it, okay, a copy that I had of it, and I was looking for it forever. And I was doing a convention, horror film convention in Cleveland. And this kid came to my table and introduced himself. And he said, my buddy and I have always wanted to go to a horror film convention. And when we saw that you were going to be here, we said, this is the one, okay? So I went, okay, cool. He goes, so where? I said, where are you from? He said, we took a bus from South Dakota to Cleveland to get your autograph.
I love that.
I went, what? Can I buy you a sandwich or something?
Yeah.
I said, come on.
Well, to just go back for a second, because I wanted to play this music because it's fantastic, and you were the drummer, but also, and you have this beautiful, iconic other beauty here besides yourself.
Who's done conventions?
Who's done conventions, TERA PATRIck. So I wanted to bring you both out together because we're an interesting team. I'm not quite sure what it means, but we have the beauty and the beast and the whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
When I first met Sid at Kamikaze, when we worked together, what I love so much, I just adore you and I respect you so much, but it's interesting when you work in person, when you're at a trade show, and like you said, you see fans come, they take buses, they come to see you. It brings me a lot of gratitude, that fans still appreciate the in-person appearances, the shows, they come support you. I remember you autographing a pack of cigarettes, and I was like, sitting there going, that is so cool, and I love, as you do too, we have so much appreciation for our fans that they have appreciated the entire body of all of our work. Because the first thing I did was, Tony, my partner, and I went home and Googled you. And we were like, wow, there were so many things about you that we didn't know, and that's, I guess, the good and bad thing about the internet, but also you have your own legion of fans and following that dates back to the beginning of your career. So I'm sure you also appreciate when fans, they bring up things that you're like, yeah, I did do that. I remember, and it's so cool. It's
Sid
really
goes
cool.
back. He was in Battleship Potemkin. A lot of people don't know.
I taught Eisenstein how to shoot.
Eisenstein.
I love that.
Yeah.
We looked at all his images, and I went, he was hot. And Tony's like, Tara, stop. Like,
he's. I think Sid has evolved from so many different looks. Yes. And one of the films, I watched it again last night just to make sure that I actually had seen it, because it's so weird. Spider Baby was one of your first movies, and I realized that a lot of movies took that film. Even movies like Freaks, in a way. There were a lot of films, a lot of things came out of that. Well, Freaks was before it, so maybe you stole it from them. But you were
inspired.
Have you seen Spider Baby before?
No.
Describe what Spider Baby is and what it meant to your career, because we're going to screen this movie.
Okay.
And people won't believe what they're saying. Unbelievable film. Tell us about it.
Okay, this was the second film that I did, actually third film that I did for Jack Hill. I did his student film at UCLA. Then I did another film that was just totally nuts, crazy. It was like 3 films put together, and who gives a shit? And then we did Spider Baby, and he called. I was trying to reach him. He was trying to reach me. We finally got together, and he said, "I have this film that you have to play this part." I said, "Okay, great, because I'm looking for work, man." He said, "You need to come and meet the producers, and we'll do something." And I said, "What do you mean do something?" I said, "The character doesn't have any dialogue because this family has got this malady that the older they get, the more they regress until they get to the point where they're actually animals.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay? So I said, wow, all right. So I went to the office and he said, just, do something, okay? And I was picking my nose, I took off my shoes and I was playing with my toes. I was just doing all kinds of slobbering.
This was like an audition?
Yeah.
Or like a screen test? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I was through, I looked at the producers and they had this look on their face like, oh shit, what did we get ourselves into?
He's not acting. This is him.
This is him, okay.
Show us the photo, by the way. There's a picture on
Yes.
the table so people can see. Now, Lon Chaney Jr. was the lead, really, of the film.
Yeah.
I have to ask, this is famous Lon Chaney Jr., who was the Mummy, right? So, and
Wolfman.
The Wolfman. And he had some, his own demons. You didn't have hair.
Right. Well, before we did the film, I had hair.
Okay, but you lost it because of the movie, or they cut
No,
it?
they wanted it shaved because in one of the early scenes, Lon Chaney Jr. is bringing me back from the hospital after having had a lobotomy. So my head is shaved. I'd been married for 3 months, and I handed my wife a razor and said, here, shave the back of my head. And she said, no, I'll kill you, I'll hit a vein, I'll do so. I said, just do it, just do it. And so that's how this whole thing happened.
Yeah, well, it was frightening. Let's hold up the picture again so we can. Now, okay, so Lon Chaney Jr., the Mummy, the Wolfman, almost as iconic as you. No, he's very iconic. He was like a
Extremely.
legend. What was it like working with him?
The first 2 days I was in awe, okay, I could barely speak. And we were very short on crew, and they needed him on set, and Jack Hill said, Sid, go get Lon Chaney. So I went and I knocked on his dressing room door, and he said, yes, and I said, Mr. Chaney, they're ready for you. And he said, knock that off, okay? My name is Lon, you're Sid, we're working together, don't ever call me Mr. Chaney again, okay? And at that moment, there was a whole thing that happened. I mean, he became my mentor.
Wow.
And all the time that we were on the set, changing camera angles and doing all of that stuff, we would just sit and talk. I was smart enough to let him talk and me listen, okay? And he gave me such great advice, and I try to pass that on as much as I can. And one of the biggest things that I learned from him was to be nice to everyone that you meet on your way up, because you're going to meet them again on your way down.
Absolutely.
American General Pictures imprisons you in a bloody web of terror. Spider Baby has the seductive innocence of Lolita and the savage hunger of a black widow. Spider Baby will give you nightmares forever. No man that loves her lives to love another. Her sweet kisses engulf you in a bloody web of horror. Spider Baby will thrill you, then kill you. Starring Spider Baby and Lon Chaney. For the horror thrill of your life, see Spider Baby from American General Pictures.